with Coach Mangini. We're talking Cowboys. They could be adding another All-Pro to their roster. Jamal Adams reportedly wants to be traded if the Jets don't give him a contract extension. His preference? How about his hometown, Dallas Cowboys? Nick, what do you think? Would adding Jamal Adams make the Dallas Cowboys favorites to win the NFC?
Well, as they are presently constituted, I got them at 11-5 and competing for a bye. I don't think there is a truly great team in the conference right now. I think the two best teams in football, the Chiefs and the Ravens, are both in the AFC. And you look at the Cowboys, what is, in my mind, their single biggest position of weakness? It's the back end of the defense. They lost Byron Jones. It's the only spot on either side of the ball they don't have an all-pro caliber player, whether it's offensive line, wide receiver, running back, defensive line, linebackers. They've got all pros or guys who have that ability everywhere except for in the back end. So it would be the perfect fit for a team that I already believe could win the conference. They're not my pick to win the conference, but adding Jamal Adams might be enough to put them over the top. It would also be Wild's an ultimate all-in move. They already have one of the three highest paid at the following positions: wide receiver, running back, guard, defensive end, inside linebacker. Their quarterback appears to be next on the list. And if you trade a first-round pick and something else for Jamal Adams, it's so you could then immediately make him the highest paid safety in NFL history. So you would be constructing a roster that is absolutely as top-heavy as we've ever seen. No middle class of players, and then a bunch of minimum-ish salary guys. It would be a risky gambit, but if you're not worried about future you, if you're just worried about today you, absolutely, you would make this move, maybe becomes the favorites in the NFC, certainly become the favorites in the NFC East by a decent margin, and have the best chance you've had at a Super Bowl in a quarter century.
Did he just say Super Bowl?
So I like the Carpe Diem aspect if they make the move. But there was a curious tweet that Charles Robinson put out. And, Coach, I wanted your opinion on it. And if I was the Cowboys, I would look at this and say, no, we're out. So if we put the tweet up, the price for Adams may be more complicated than what was reported by Michael Irvin. The first and third round pick is correct, but last year's trade deadline mess involving Adams and the Cowboys left the Jets feeling burned. That could linger into the price point this time around. So, Coach, my question to you, and this is weird, have you ever experienced a trade scenario where a trade to one team is X and the trade to another team is X plus Y? So your demands are different, even though you want different things back.
Steffi, thanks for becoming a member.
Guy is going to.
Yeah, that can definitely be part of the equation, and some of that can be a function of, is it in the AFC or the NFC? Are you going to have to compete against this player? Are you worried about competing against the player that you're moving on from? What type of relationship do you have with the organization? Now, you don't want to get it to the point where you're not trading or you're asking for too much because of some sort of grudge. And I would imagine New York's got to look at this and figure out whether or not they want the player on the team. And he's in his third year. He already wants a new contract. There's been issues, in terms of chemistry and prospects for the future. You got to figure out, do you want him on your team? But in addition to that, you got to figure out whether you want to send the message that guys are willing or are able to shoot their way off the team. And that sets a dangerous precedent, too, that in your third year, you can demand a trade and the team is willing to accommodate you. So there's a lot of things at play here.
Seymour.
Nick, I want to ask you about the Cowboys for a second. How much of their potential do you think depends on Dak? Here's a team that has a new coach, new attitude. Every poll out there seems to have them in the top 10, maybe in the top 5. And yet the team is still at this impasse with their quarterback, and it seems like his teammates want him to get signed. Do you think that posed some sort of, negative attention going into this season, and could that be detrimental to them?
Well, the only way the Dak situation truly impacts this season would be if he doesn't play, and he's going to play. I am as confident in this as anything I've ever said on television. Dak Prescott is not going to refuse to report once the regular season begins because they franchise tag him. Not when the team has attempted to sign him to a deal and he just wants a higher above the market deal. Like it's not like the Cowboys haven't shown faith in Dak Prescott. So I don't think playing under the specter of the franchise tag is going to negatively affect his play. You could say he'll feel better about things if he has a long-term deal, but I think that's negligible. But I want to go back to Coach on something because I guess this is something
let's go back to
he and I
Coach
just see the world differently on. You're allowed to ask for a new deal after 3 years. You're not allowed to ask for one according to the CBA after year 1 or 2 as a first-round pick. True. But after year 3, you are.
Yep.
And if anyone deserves it, it's a guy who, within his first 3 years, has become the best player in the league at his position. Zeke got one after 3 years for similar reasons. We saw J.J. Watt get one after 3 years for similar reasons. Aaron Donald tried. He had to wait an additional year. I don't think it's out of bounds, Coach, for a player of Jamal Adams' caliber to say, you drafted me in the top 10. I've lived up to the expectations. I want my contract extension.
Let's see what man
like that, to me, that's totally fair game.
As Tony Serrano would say.
You're drafted 6th overall, so you're getting compensated at a high level for the 3 years of production that you've had. And as a drafted guy in the first round, the team actually has an option for a 5th year. So you've got 2 years left on your contract, not just 1 year left on your contract. And it's not like it's been a marriage that's that all the sides are excited about. There's been conflict. There's been disruptiveness. You know what? I don't imagine the team is that excited to reward because it's not just.
Man, sit your ass down, man. Genius. Come on, man. Hello, friends. Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to thank you guys for being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report, because without you guys, you know this does not work. So let's get open for business here, and let's wake up the football guys. Wake up, guys. Wake up there. It is Friday night, and I just got paid. Well, actually, I didn't get paid. I didn't get paid. But it's still Friday night. What's up, Q? How you doing? Steffi Bates became a member. Thank you very much. Hawk. Oh, Lordy. Hawk, we know what you're doing right about now. Puff, puff, pass, pass. We know that's what you, Hawk, the Eagle fan, the logo, puff, puff, puff. Yeah, we know that's what you're doing, because you always high whenever you come in here. Who's that? Dan the Man Cunningham, Zeppelin fan. What's up? Thomas Garrett, and of course Miss Jack. Oh my God, Miss. You know what? What Frank Fleece, how you doing? Miss Jackie, you got to stop. You know what? Miss Jackie is forever showing the love. She sent me a message yesterday and said, there's something in the mail for you that got delivered. I'm like, Miss Jackie, you got, thank you. It's an early Father's Day present. So should I open this now, Miss Jackie? Should I open it now or should I wait till next week? Should I open it now or should I wait till next week? I'm going to wait to see what your response is. So, we are here tonight. I'm going to wait and see what you say. What's up, Carrie? How you doing? How do I know you were smoking? Hawk. You know, I got eyes in the back of my head. And I know that you're always smoking. It's easier to say you're smoking and guess and be right than to say that you're not, because you're always, every time I've talked to you, you've been smoking some weed, okay? I'm hoping you're growing your own, because that's a whole lot of money going out the window. Stuart Morrison, what's up, man? I hope you guys be able to get to have your charity golf tournament and everything else in there. Doing all right, Steffi Bates. Okay, so here we are. We are 92 days, 22 hours, 49 minutes, and 25 seconds away from kickoff for the Dallas Cowboys against the Rams. That's it. That's 3 months. Think about 3 months that we've been locked down. That's all the time we have, hopefully, for the season to start. Now, leagues are working their way, trying to get things started. NBA thought they had a deal. Now it's kind of like there's a few hang-ups and stuff in there. You know, baseball is still trying to figure it out. You know, I hope and pray that the second wave that they're talking about, oh, man, look, man, we got Eagles fans here. Now I got my cousin up in here, Daniel, of course. What's up, cuz? Local Redskin fan.
Wait, did you see the string from earlier?
Yeah, he saw it earlier. He showed his wife, too.
Okay, cool.
And I said, well, what did she say? She said she didn't say nothing. There's Q. Miss Jackie said, wait till 5. Oh. You know, it's going to be calling my name. It's saying, Mark, open me, open. Did you hear it? Did you hear me? Open me, open me. Okay. Hate to wait, but that's all right. But we have 92 days. I played this clip because basically we're all in the same boat right now. There really isn't that much that's going on with football-wise. We don't have OTAs other than virtual ones, and unless we hack Zoom, we're not going to know exactly what's going on in those workouts, okay? They're really not going to get the players back at the facilities till maybe around the 15th of July for conditioning, and then hopefully on the 28th or by the 28th, teams will start training camp. So we got 5 weeks roughly before we'll really have the teams and stuff together. So you see that they're rehashing the whole Jamal Adams thing. Now, Jamal Adams, you know, it's one thing to say that this is the number that you want to sell for. You know, I got my red truck out there that's got some issues that's 15 years old. I put a rebuild engine in about 90,000 miles ago. I put a rebuild transmission in about 40,000 miles ago. And I'd love to get me $10,000 for it. You can want anything. You can put a price on anything, but it doesn't mean you're going to get it. It doesn't mean you're going to get it because they put that price out there on Jamal Adams before and didn't nobody bite on it. You know, Giovanni and Clowney talked about getting, you know, I want $23 million. I was like, the fuck? How you think you're going to get $23 million coming off of 5 sacks? Now, I could see D-Law because he had 14 and a half. I could see, you know, asking for that. But after going to Seattle and you get 5 sacks and you think you're going to get $23 million, come on, man. You know, he's been hanging out with Hawks. He's been hanging out with Hawks smoking that weed if he's thinking he's getting $23 million.
It's legal in Seattle.
Huh?
It's legal in Seattle.
Well, it's legal in a lot of places here. Well, it's legal in the NFL right now. You're not getting sat down for a week. You may pay a fine, but it's legal in the NFL. But regardless, you're nervous and you hope you can at least split the Cowboys. You know, that would be better than what you normally do. You split last year, which was congratulations. Robert, thank you very much for the super chat. You don't care about Dak anymore. He's a little selfish. You know,
It's what the market value.
here's what I'm going to say. Robert, I appreciate the super chat. I really and truly do. You have to understand the NFL. The NFL has all the advantages over the players. You have to understand the average career. Here's how the system is set up. Think about this. You can't become a free agent till year 4, and if you're one of the top players being drafted, Lorenzo Alexander Jr. Well, wait. I know a Lorenzo Alexander who plays for the Buffalo Bills, who does a lot of work with United Way. I, in fact, met him at the Pro Bowl in Hawaii. You're not related to that Lorenzo Alexander, are you? Are you? I'm just checking. Just checking. Let me know on that one. The NFL has it set up that you cannot be a free agent till year 4, and if you're one of the top guys like Zeke, like we were just talking about Jamal Adams, there's a 5th-year option for me that benefits me, not you. The 5th-year option doesn't benefit you. It benefits me. It keeps you from being able to hit free agency and get a better payday. So that means I can have you potentially for 5 years. Here's the hard part about this. The average career in the NFL is 3 years. It's 3 years. That's it. Your chances of making it to get that payday are slim and none. You could look at a guy like Alfred Morris, who was a 6th-round draft pick and came out and played gangbusters for the Redskins. One year had 1,300 yards, making less than $1 million a year. The Redskins, they ran the hell out of him, and then let him go. He made more money coming into the Cowboys as a backup than he made any year as a Washington Redskin. So when you look at it, you can play great. You can outplay your contract, but they're not going to go ahead and say, since you outplayed your contract, we're not going to give you more unless we're forced to. And here we are with our quarterback who's seen Carson Wentz get his deal, seen Jared Goff, who most people won't have Jared Goff in the top 20 as a quarterback right now, get his money, see Jimmy Garoppolo get his money, see Matthew Stafford get his money twice, see Kirk Cousins get a big fat deal from Minnesota, and then get 2 more years guaranteed at $66 million. And here it is, I got $4 million. That's all made in 4 years. That's it. $4 million. Those 4 years you cannot make up. You can't make that up. You have a finite time on the field. You have to maximize your earning potential, because regardless of what they sign you for, they'll cut you in a minute if they figure, I can't get any more out of you. Des signed a contract with them, and guess what? See ya. Woo Woo says, check your Gmail. Michael Lynn Fitzsimmons to check his Gmail. Check your Gmail. Okay? Mike?
You talking about the one for, is it channel number?
No, it's Whoa Whoa or Woo Woo. Okay, he said tell Michael and Fitness to check his Gmail. Okay. So you wouldn't give Dak $25 million. Well, you're not the GM of the Dallas Cowboys. You shouldn't have given your quarterback $33. The guy who can't make it through a season without being injured, Hawk. So put the weed down, Hawk. Put the weed down. And Kevin, there you go. Exactly. Those 4 years, the reason why the Dallas Cowboys actually had money is because they didn't have to pay a quarterback. You could have said, think about it. Tony Romo was set to $21 million. Was it 21 or 26 million? You think about how much money they saved. Had we had Tony Romo as the quarterback, because there's still some people at 40 years old wish, whoa. Okay, whoa. Who wished that Tony Romo had stayed. But if Tony Romo had stayed, all that money that we had to pay for all these players, that money would have been eaten up. The fact that Dak Prescott was only $1 million last year and $680,000 the 3 years before that enabled this team to have that space. When you look at a guy like Jacoby Brissett, Jacoby Brissett made $26 million last year? Jacoby Brissett. Let me say that again. Jacoby Brissett made $26 million last year. Now, being greedy, hey, you could say the NFL is kind of greedy, because you could look at it and say, you know what? Since you played football and your body is all screwed up, you know what we're going to do? We're going to provide health care for you for the rest of your life. We got billions. Why not? We can do that. Do they do that? Do they? Really? No, I don't think so. So I don't look at it as greedy. This is what every NFL player does. And I bet you, in fact, Pat Mahomes, Deshaun Watson, you know what they're whispering in Dak Prescott's ear? Get as much as you can, because the more you get, the more that we get. That's what every player realizes. You want to raise the level. It's not about being greedy, it's about business. And certainly the NFLPA looks at it and says, boy, you better not take less money. You don't leave nothing on the table. Skywalker Steel, how you doing tonight, man? Front office squandered having a good young quarterback. time, Skywalker, I won't say they squandered it, because here's the thing you got to look at. Think about this. 2014, we were about either 25 or 21 million dollars over the cap. Those years before that, we were doing things like, Tony Romo, hey, we need to use your contract as a payday loan. We're going to restructure your contract, kick some of that money down the road. Tyron Smith, we're going to take some of that money and we're going to put that down the road. Tyrone Crawford, we're going to do the same thing with you guys. Sheila, thank you very much for that super chat. So you looked at that. We were literally borrowing money like a payday loan, kicking it down the road. We did with DeMarcus Ware too, because of bad contracts that we did. So you can't say we squandered that time with Dak Prescott, because we have literally rebuilt this whole team. This team is pretty much turned over from when Tony Romo was here in 2014. The only holdovers, Sean Lee, who's basically in a backup role. You have Tyron Smith, who, Tyron Smith, it may be this year or next year, his time is beginning to come up a little short, even though he's only 29. You got Zach Martin, but you have a whole different crew of character. You have one of the teams that are one of the youngest teams in the NFL that is actually built and ready to go. And as much as we look and say, oh man, we spent a whole lot of money, you got potentially, if D-Law comes back, one of the better edge rushers, okay, if he, gets hangry, if he actually works out. You got one of the best running backs, although you probably only have 2 really good years left of him. You've got a very young wide receiver core with Amari, with Gallup, and now CeeDee Lamb. You got a quarterback who's only 26. If you get that deal signed, you got those guys taken care of. You still have a pretty good offensive line. Zach Martin, Lyle Collins. Those guys are still really young in the grand scheme of things. You don't know about Tyron Smith. You still have to wonder about Connor Williams. And then you got Looney, but you've also got some young guys, like Connor McGovern and things that may end up stepping up and be really, really good. We actually have more talent on this team, I believe, than we've had in quite a while across the board. So even on defense, bringing in a Gerald McCoy who's out on a mission, I believe Gerald McCoy is going to have one hell of a season, because he's looking at this. He's made his money. Alonzo Lopez has even joined. What's up, my former neighbor down in Woodbridge? What's up? Your skins suck. I hate to tell you, Alonzo, in case you didn't know, your Redskins suck, and this is not going to be the year for them. It's just not going to be the year. It's not going to be the year. But you've got one hell of an offense, and the reason why you were able to do that was because Dak Prescott didn't get paid. Because we weren't paying, like the Lions did with Matthew Stafford, highest paid there for a minute. You were able to go ahead and get these other deals done. And here's where, if we can get through the coronavirus, the NFL and the NFLPA are trying to work out a deal so that even if the revenues go down, that it won't be, a death blow to the cap. They're looking at it and saying, we're going to be redoing the television contract, and we're going to get paid. So we'll just kind of do like an average of those seasons. So, we'll be okay. But thank you, Thomas. Thank you for bringing Thomas Garrett. Thomas Garrett, thank you for bringing me back around to Gerald McCoy. I think you're actually going to have a really good mix on the defensive line. And I'm telling you, I believe this is going to be the best defensive line we've had in quite a while. Because every time you look at the last few years, you've had, even when DeMarcus Ware was really, really good, and you end up having Jason Hatcher for that 1 year that your Redskins, Alonzo, overpaid, okay? He had one good season, and you guys bought the farm with him. But anyway, I'll be that as it may. You had those two guys that are really good, but you're always still kind of soft in the middle. We've always had good edge rushers and pressure on the outside, but teams are always able to run on us. Quarterbacks are always able to step up and feel comfortable or take off, have a clear field of view. But now all of a sudden, with getting rid of Rod Martinelli, sending him on to Vegas, you got to change the philosophy. We have now gotten rid of that bend don't break. Skywalker, you still up in here? Skywalker, Skywalker doing some real work. I mean, that's the hype crew. They putting in the work, man, between Law Nation and Big Game James and Skywalker. Definitely check out Skywalker Steel, man. He's a young gun. He's young, but he is definitely putting in the work and knows what he's talking about. But our defensive line now actually has some oomph to them, some beef, some guys that can put pressure in the middle. And I have forever, anybody who's watched me for any length of time, you guys know. I'm always told I'm an idiot, and they're probably right. I'm not that bright, and I've been hit in the head a lot of times, and it was before we knew about concussions, okay? See, back in my day, okay, and no, I didn't wear a leather helmet, okay? I'm old, but I'm not quite that old, okay? Not quite that old. But see, back in my day, what they ended up doing, when you got hit in the head, it was kind of like a red badge of honor. Oh, you saw blue dots? You saw the blue dots. Did you see stars too? Oh, man, you know, last week I had one of those too, man. I got knocked, man. The dude came through, hit me out, locked up. And literally, it was just like in the cartoons, man. I saw the stars. It wasn't you go onto the side and get your eyes checked and you can't play anymore. You know, it was just like, shake it off. Just shake it off. So you shake it off. You're sitting there shaking, but you feel that your brain's not moving with the rest of your head. It's all right. You'll be fine. So I've been hit in the head a lot. But for the first time, I feel good about the defensive line because we got a mix of old and young. I am so hyped about the Canadian bulldozer. I know he's going to be a rookie, but he's a grown ass man. That's a guy who will put pressure on his. See, that's a guy that the quarterback, you got to understand. I played nose guard, okay? They don't call it nose guard anymore because they just don't. I played nose guard, and see, it made me pissed off because they had me lined up. We had what was called a 50 defense, okay? You got the nose tackle or nose guard over the center. Every freaking play, I've got the freaking football 8 inches in front of my nose. Every time. You know how much, God, Jimmy, you know how much I wanted that fucking football? Excuse my language. It just pisses me off. It's just like teasing. It's just like, Miss Jackie, it's just like this. It's teasing me right now. I want this thing right here. I want to open it up. I want to see what it is, but I can't. You know, every time I want to just smack the football, just do something. But you're right there, and you know, as that nose tackle or nose guard as I was, you know you're getting hit by that center. You know you're getting hit by that guard. You know you're getting hit by that guard. You know you're getting hit by that guard in that center. You're getting hit by that guard in that center. And if that's not enough, you know, sometimes you get the tackle coming down on an influence block, and he's hitting you. If that's not enough, then sometimes they pull like a wham block. They put the tight end in motion. As soon as the ball snaps, you don't even see it. You don't even see. You're literally, oh, okay, I just got hit in the head again. Or you think you got it made, and the center goes past, the guard goes past, and you look up and you see the running back, and here comes the fullback. You get hit from every situation, everywhere. You're just a Howard Floyd. What's up? Thank you very much for that super chat. So you get angry. You get pissed off. And I'm going to tell you what you do. You get in there and you're up there snorting. You're looking pissed off. And you look at that quarterback. Because that quarterback, he's facing you. He's right there. You're down there. And you're looking at him with this possessed look in your eyes. You let him know, I'm coming for you, bro. And I got a big fat ass that's going to be falling on top of you. And that's what I see when I see Gallimore or I see Dontari Poe. Because if you look at the Super Bowls that have been lost by New England, the thing that they all have in common is pressure in Tom Brady's face. Quarterbacks do not like pressure in their face. Outside, no problem. I can step up. Let that just wash right past me. I got a clear view, and if it gets real bad, I can take off. But when you got that pressure in the middle, when you got that big son of a gun who can push that center back in the lap of the quarterback, that guy who you got to say, we have to double team, it opens up everything. And forever, I kept saying, when Calais Campbell became a free agent, I remember talking to some people that are writers and stuff, the Cowboys. I'm like, listen, man, tell everybody, you got to get Calais Campbell. I kept on here talking every day. Please, Cowboys, I want Calais Campbell. And you know what I got? You know what I got all the time? You don't know what you're talking about. Calais Campbell, he's over the hill. That guy, he only gets like 6 or 7 sacks a season. He's blah, blah. And I was just like, dude, you don't understand what this guy could do having a push up the middle. You know, you're stupid, man. You're an idiot. And what does he do? Dude comes out and gets 15.5 sacks there in Jacksonville and is runner-up for defensive MVP. And see, that, my friends, has been the problem with this Dallas Cowboys defense, is they're not or have not been physical. They've been this finesse team. They've been this, we're going to be racing lizards. We're going to run. Yeah, Larry Brown, the cornerback for the Cowboys. I remember that in Married with Children, man. Larry Brown, one of the famous players who got paid off of literally one game. Neil O'Donnell threw 2 of the worst interceptions to Larry Brown. And you had, the Raiders owner, Al Davis, basically say, I want that guy. He was Super Bowl MVP. And it was like, yeah, you just wasted your money. You wasted he wasn't even a starter all season. So, yeah, shout out to Larry Brown. But the problem with our defense has been, you look at D-Law. D-Law has got technique. He's fast. He's big and all that. But for most part, what we've looked at is kind of like tweeners. You look at Tyrone Crawford, he can play defensive end, he can play defensive tackle. But he's not that big a guy. He's tall, and he's a little bit skinny. In fact, I think I'm thicker than most of our defensive linemen were. I'm 5'10", about 265. That's about what Tyrone Crawford is, about 6'3". So what our defense was predicated on was, we're going to move around. We're going to run past the offensive lineman. No. So that works sometimes. But sometimes you just got to be able to just man the F up and just knock the guy in front of you backwards. And I feel like for the first time, we have some guys that can do that. Now, there are going to be some unknowns. But see, for me, if this defense can step up, this defense can play really good. Like Mr. Always Wrong might be right, that the Cowboys could be a team to reckon with. I know what's true. Hawk, I know what's true is you're high as a mother right now. Zeppelin fan, true story. Keith, not many JVs have quarterbacks that have 2 Super Bowl rings. Junior varsity high school quarterbacks have 2 Super Bowl. You lost me on that one. Q ain't no lying. Stuart Morrison, thank you very much for the super chat. But besides the fact that Dak is a stud, somebody remind Hawk that the best ability is available. You know, hold on. It drives me crazy that Philly 500, okay? Philly 500 is always up in here calling me out, talking about Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz, he's the best quarterback in the world. Carson Wentz, he's the most underrated player in the history of the NFL. Come on, man. Really? Really? That dude, they always prop up, just like Hawk, he's a great quarterback. But dude couldn't make it through a playoff game. Now, here's how crazy it is. My quarterback gets lit up going out of bounds. Out of bounds against the Redskins. Gets jacked up. Doesn't even get a call. He doesn't miss time. He gets his hand knocked the crap out of. Swollen up like my belly. Doesn't miss a play. Your quarterback, well, your quarterback, he gets hit and everybody talks about, oh, it's such a cheap shot. He should be thrown out of the league. Dak has not. Oh, see, again, Hawk. I heard that you got to be careful where you get your supply of weed because sometimes it's laced with some other stuff that makes you crazy. It might have some bath salts on it. You might be smoking some bath salts, okay?
What? Look at Did the screen freeze? Is it still light? Look for the corona. Oh my God! Look at this! Wow, that has to be the stupidest thing I've ever. Oh my God! Are you gonna take a quarterback back in the second round? Oh my God! Are you kidding me? What did you just trade Carson then? Are you kidding me? You just took a quarterback in the second round. This team is so good.
That's kind of funny, man.
They don't need to take. They don't need anything else, right? They're so good. This has to be for some sort of trade. There has to be something to this. This don't make any sense. Eagles UK, thank you for the super chat. I'm sorry. This is stupidity at its finest. There has to be something else going on.
So, Real Fan 1, I want to address your comment that Dak was real bad without Zeke. I will say Dak Prescott, when Zeke was out, we also had Sean Lee out, and our defense went from giving up 83 yards on the ground to 183. I will also say that we also missed Tyron Smith. And with Tyron Smith out, I do believe Claiborne got paid because of that game. Because Claiborne, I think, had 5 sacks on him. That the Dallas Cowboys coaching staff didn't realize, our all-pro tackle is not playing well, but we're going to leave Chaz Green out on a guy who's eating his lunch. We're not going to leave a running back in there to go ahead and help out. We're not going to leave the tight end on him. We're not going to move the pocket. We're just going to keep running the same shit and let the quarterback just get beat to hell. And I will say, we ended up being 4-3 with Dak Prescott without Zeke. Just saying, 4-3. And I will also say, you could also look at it and say it's more than just Zeke Elliott, because I'm trying to remember what our record was without a wide receiver. Thomas Garrett, thank you very much for Super Chat. I believe we were 3-5 until we got Amari Cooper, and that was with Zeke Elliott. So if your premise is you got Zeke Elliott, Dak doesn't have to do anything, well, that's bullshit too, because we had Zeke Elliott and we went 3-5. And I will also say that sometimes, regardless of what you think, quarterbacks will have some bad games. Dak Prescott has been microanalyzed on every single play. Derek for Megabytes. Shout out to him. If you need a website, hey, listen, if you've been on my website, if you've seen how easy it is to order the racks, and if you hurry up and order by this weekend, I could probably get you a Father's Day ones there before Father's Day. Derek and his crew took care of business on that one. They handled it like crazy. Even if, you've been watching like some of those sites you shouldn't be watching, and you got some spyware because you've been watching a little too much porn, they can help you out with that one too. And if you're an idiot like me, or especially, actually, Philly 500, dude. Philly, hey, Derek, you're going to laugh at this one. Derek. This is how funny it is. You know how bad I am with the computer, right? Derek, you know how much I suck. You know how flustered I got when you were like, okay, go ahead and do this, right? Would you believe Philly 500 asked me how to do stuff on the computer? He is so bad that he actually literally asked me, well, how do you do that? He really is a dingbat. But back to my premise here. Quarterbacks sometimes have bad games. So, real fan, you're going to go back to 2017. That's your argument? 2017? Winning division in 2018, that's nothing. Putting up almost 1 yard short of Tony Romo's. Come on, man. You know, Steve Young was with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and they thought, that guy's no good. Let's get rid of him. Steve Young. You know, Troy Aikman, it's a good thing, Real Fan One, that you weren't running the Dallas Cowboys. Because if you saw Troy Aikman's numbers, his statistics, Troy Aikman was some shit his first 2 years of the Dallas Cowboys. Some real shit. But I get it. Again, it don't matter what I say, okay? It is what it is. If you don't believe in him, that's fine. But I got to tell you, Carson Wentz, you could look at 2018. Carson Wentz was 5-3. Carson Wentz looks like some crap. Carson Wentz, his statistics have gone down over the last 3 years since he was the MVP candidate. My quarterback, Dak Prescott, after the 2017 season, his numbers have been going up steadily. So I don't know what you're looking at, but you know what? You're free to think what you want to think. It's cool. We can agree to disagree. Now, one thing that I love, I saw parts of this interview of Gerald McCoy. I think Gerald McCoy can be a major difference maker. Gerald McCoy has always played really good. Gerald McCoy has always been a beast at Tampa Bay. Gerald McCoy, a lot of people haven't really seen some of the things that this guy has done. Why? Because it's been Tampa Bay. It's not the Dallas Cowboys. This brother has been a beast, and this guy, he's already made his money. Right now, he's looking for that glory. He is like, I can't believe it. All my people going to be able to see me on Thanksgiving. We got five primetime games? Gerald McCoy looks like an absolute positive beast right now. He has slimmed down. He is ready to rock and roll. Yeah, Hawk. Yeah, I said that. If your Eagles win 3 straight Super Bowls, I will buy you I will come to your house and cook it for you. Okay? But that shit ain't going to happen. You know that shit ain't going to happen. So, let's just listen to a little bit of this because he sends a great message to all of us because it was just uplifting.
So I start in Oklahoma. It's very rare that you either don't know somebody who's a diehard Cowboys fan or
Howard Floyd, thank you very much for the super chat.
Diehard Cowboys fan, and we didn't have a professional team. Our professional team was the University of Oklahoma, and so you loved the Cowboys growing up. My favorite player before Warren Sapp actually was Leon Lett, and I wore number 78. Leon Lett,
who's coaching him?
And then once I developed a love for Warren Sapp, I started loving the Bucs. So I actually was blessed enough. I grew up initially a Cowboys fan, grew into a love for the Bucs. I got drafted by the Bucs, and I'm going to end my career with the Cowboys. That doesn't happen often, and it is extremely rare. And I couldn't even imagine that something like this would happen.
Well, it's also an organization, Gerald. You will be on television every week, and your game will be the highest rated every week. So from my takeaway, the advantage to playing in Dallas is that you probably, because you have a personality, you're going to make marketing deals. And I'm sure the Cowboys weren't the only team that wanted you. Did you consider that going in, that I'm on television every week, this is good business?
Absolutely. So here's my. I got it. Can I answer that with a few questions?
Sure, go ahead.
I love it.
Okay. Who is one of the top, if not the top, analysts on Fox?
Troy Aikman.
Okay. Who took over for John Gruden after he left Monday Night Football?
Jason Witten, Cowboy. Okay.
Who is going to be the highest paid analyst next year?
Tony Romo.
All right, I'll leave it there. So if you don't think that being a Cowboy has its advantages and its benefits,
love that.
Yeah, it does. And so here's a problem that I have with people that don't listen. So I said I played in 4 primetime games my entire career, excluding Thursday Night Football, which everybody gets. Okay. Pretty much everybody gets a Thursday night, or you just don't get one. But everybody gets Thursday night games. Right. So I don't count those because everybody gets them. Everybody doesn't get a Sunday night. Everybody doesn't get a Monday night. I've played in 4. The Bucs, since I've been on the Bucs, have been a part of, I'd say, 8 or 9. I was injured when we played the Cowboys on Saturday night in 2011. I was injured in 2016, week 5, we played the Carolina Panthers. And I was injured in 2017, like week 15, we played Atlanta. So I didn't play in those games. So people who know my career better than me, I need you to stop this. I played in 4 primetime games, excluding Thursday night. So playing for the Dallas Cowboys and getting an opportunity to play in 5 this year alone is exciting for me. You know, and like I said, growing up a Cowboys fan, you watch the Cowboys on Thanksgiving.
Right.
One of the first things my dad and I discussed is, he said, son, do you realize you can be playing on Thanksgiving? I said, God willing, I'm healthy. Yes, I will be.
Well, you know, it's interesting because Jerry Jones has always been pro player. He'll pay players.
Absolutely.
Dak will eventually get his money, either franchise tag or contract. He'll get his money. But did you negotiate with Jerry? Did you talk to Jerry? And I'd like to know what that discussion was like because he's a different cat.
No, I actually didn't. You know, I let my agent do all the talking. I actually spoke with Jerry the first time. It was the night of the draft or the night before the draft. I believe it's the night of the draft. And, you know, I've spoken with him before at the Pro Bowl, and I've got to meet him and talk to him before. And he is very interesting. And he's cool. He's cool, though. You know, every time I've been around him, he's been cool. We've always been cordial, had great conversation, and I'm excited, man. I'm excited.
You know, I got a couple other questions I want to ask you. I want to go to a more serious question. You know, I was saying this the other day, Gerald, that if we're going to ask for people to grow, and we should,
right,
then it's hard to ask for perfection with growth. People are going to make mistakes. Drew Brees was tone deaf.
Absolutely.
His resume showed he's a good cat. Then he was tone deaf. And so I think to myself, well, if we're going to ask people, you didn't become great out of the womb. You made mistakes, you missed assignments, and then you became a great player.
Right.
So I would think players would go, like, I'll forgive him. But I don't know because I'm not in the locker room. Will there be players potentially, Gerald? They're like, listen, man, you're not living my life. You showed insensitivity. I can't be behind you on this. I'll play with you, but we're out. Do you think there'll be a group like that in the Saints locker room?
Yeah, absolutely. So here's the thing. It doesn't matter how much we scream, yell, protest, Black Lives Matter. Some people are just going to miss it. Some people are just going to miss it. I'm not saying that's Drew, but my reason for saying that is some people in the locker room are going to be stone cold like, hey, listen, I don't care if you did apologize. I don't care what you do from now on. You said it initially. That's what you believe. That's who you are. I'm not that guy, okay? I actually grew up under Drew Brees. Drew has mentored me since I was a rookie in the NFL. I know what type of person he is, okay? Drew is a great guy. He's extremely great. His family's
Cowboys
great.
abroad. Thank
Some
you very
of the
much.
nicest
Super
people
chat.
I've ever been around. One of the most selfless people I've ever been around. I was in the same division with this guy, And he's mentoring me every offseason.
Dak
You need to work on this.
Lamar
You need to try
Dak.
this. You help with this. This is going to work. This is how you become great. This is how you do this. This is how you do that. In the same division, I have to chase this guy around 2 times a year, and he's helping me nonstop.
George
He's
Alicia,
been through all the struggles in New Orleans. He's
Cowboy
been out in the streets. He's
website
put his
for the
money
shot
where his
glasses
mouth is.
as well as the
I
racks.
think in this particular situation, he just made a mistake. I believe he got set up with a question, and he answered that question. And in doing so, I believe he missed exactly what was going on. But sometimes you have to have things brought to your attention. I do that all the time. My wife would say, hey, baby, you didn't think about this when you answered that. And I'm like, oh, shoot, I didn't. Sometimes if you don't live in the shoes of a black man, you don't know. If you've never had to have that conversation of, okay, if you see those police lights come on, this is what needs to happen. You don't know. And I truly believe that the question he was asked, he just answered the question. He focused on this is what needs to be said. This is how I feel. Okay, everybody's entitled to their opinion. But once he realized, hey, Drew, that's not where we're at right now. Where we're at right now is we're focused on what's not happening for the black man, what is happening wrong for the black man. And once he realized that, Drew is not insensitive. Mm-hmm. Drew is not selfish, and he's not so stuck on it's about the flag that he's not going to say, you know what, I made a mistake. Drew has issued multiple apologies, and I accept his apology. I'm so happy that he's open to hearing and wanting to learn. And it's not just Drew. A lot of people open to hearing and want to learn. And once we can get to that point, then we can start creating change. But I truly believe that there will be some people who are just, this is what he said. Yep. This is how it's going to be. This is how I see it. Now, I can play with them, but for the most part, I believe they'll be able to move past it. And we all have to grow. You know, we got to forgive and be able to maybe not forget, but just forgive and move forward and grow together.
Right, right.
So well put. I think I could interview you every day of the year, honestly.
He's a great interview.
Yeah.
You're really
I
good.
love it. I love it.
I got 2 more questions.
Okay.
One of them's about Batman, but I'll get to this one first.
Yeah, this is great.
Yes.
Okay, so you played in Tampa for 9 years. Mm-hmm. You know the city, you know the culture, you know the locker room, you know everything.
Absolutely.
Tom Brady, he comes from this rigid New England culture. Tampa's a little loose. It's a little fun. It's very young.
They got a strip club on every corner.
Is it going to work? What do you think?
I don't know. You know, I hope it does. I really do. I'll say this. Tom is not coming off his greatest year. Okay, they had a phenomenal defense. Tom did not play his best year. He did not have the best supporting cast either. Like I'm not gonna let that people forget that his supporting cast was not what it has been in the past. And I know
Howard, thank you very much for that super chat.
Shannon Sharp always say this guy. If you looked at the dictionary, if it says do more with less, you should see Tom Brady. Yes, but that's younger Tom Brady where he wasn't older, you know, his arm was still strong and, you know, his body was still up to par. He's gotten older. And I think people forget Father Tom is undefeated.
That
even
is
for Tom
100%
Brady.
correct.
Muhammad Ali, Father Tom kicked in. I know LeBron, I don't know where he came from. He's not from Earth.
All right, so LeBron is not from Earth. Now, for somebody that said that he looks old and washed up, what I want you to understand is, first of all, he's a defensive tackle, okay? I don't know if you can see this picture right here, but take a look at his face in there. Gerald McCoy has always been a very big guy. In fact, I would say his body type would be more like a Warren Sapp. Actually, sorry, wrong camera. Let's go over here. Hold up. I would say his body type was more of a, you see that face? That's a fat face. That's like my face. You see, look at that. That's my face, okay? He was chunky. He's dropped about 20 pounds, and he is shredded up. He is ready to play, and he is excited as he can be about being Dallas Cowboys. You understand what he just said? They had 4 primetime games, and he was only able to play, I think, in one of them. You're talking about a guy who was excited, who literally idolized Leon Lett. And Leon Lett is now one of the few coaches that are left. So he's gone from 2 idols of his playing for Tampa Bay and now playing for the Dallas Cowboys. For him, this goes beyond money. He's got plenty of money. This is all now about me making my legacy, me being seen by my people. So he wants to go out there and show up. Stuart Morrison, thank you very much for that super chat. I missed it. Okay, I thought this was the whole clip. This interview went on for 20 minutes. I'm sorry. I'll get it for you, because the thing that I loved at the end of the interview with Colin Cowherd was, as he's going through all this thing, he said, see, going through the coronavirus and things, he said, it's been great for me because I've had a chance to spend more time with my wife and my kids. We've worked out together. We've lost weight together. He said, but what everybody needs to understand is we all need to spread love. Spread love. I hope he's not spreading love on Sunday against the Eagles. But that's a point-blank message. That's spread love. We got to stop hating each other. We got to stop the senseless violence. We got to stop fighting and killing each other. We need to take that energy that we're wasting trying to get over on people. See, you got to understand, I'm older than a lot of you guys, and maybe I don't really fit the culture of what is now and today. But what you got to understand is, if you watch my live stream like today, I'm in the workshop and I'm building a bar for my cousin Daniel. He's a Redskin fan. And Redskin fans, you got to drink. You got to have a big old bar full of liquor to watch the Redskins if you're a Redskin fan. So I'm building this bar and the wall. Now, if you've been in my bar, have you seen that? I built that bar about 17 years ago. It's solid oak. You could take a sledgehammer to it. It's not going to go anywhere. It's handcrafted. I bought the lumber and the rough. I planed it out, okay? I made my raised panels. I'm putting this together, and I'm building it to last. But everything now has changed. It's not about building to last anymore. What everything about now is about getting over on somebody, getting paid, and the hell with the quality, the hell with the expertise, the hell with actually worrying about if it's going to last. When I build something, I put skill, desire, and I'll dare say put love into building it. I love what I do. It's not about making money, and a lot of times I'll make shit and I ain't making crap on it. But it's about a love and a desire to make people happy. When I make one of those racks and people send me an email and say, oh my God, it's beautiful, or they send a picture of it, they got a big smile, it makes you feel good. It's not about getting paid about it. It's about the freaking love of doing it, how I feel about it, knowing that what I did will be in somebody's place and they are enjoying it. Business isn't that way anymore. Football isn't that way anymore. Football is, I'm going to get paid. I don't give a rat's ass who I pay for. I just want to get paid. And see, when I grew up, it wasn't Deion Sanders going from, the Atlanta Falcons to the 49ers to the Cowboys to the Redskins to the Ravens. Randy White was a Dallas Cowboy. Randy White lived and was a Dallas Cowboy. Tyron Talbert and Dexter Manley, those guys that I loathed. The Joe Theismanns, they were always freaking Redskins, and you hated them. But everything has changed, and it's so much me, spoiled ass, what are you going to do for me culture. It was refreshing to hear this guy say, spread love. Spread love, man. You need to get right. You need to get right. And the first thing you can do is start spreading some love around with everybody but Philly 500 and those Eagles. But I'm serious. And we, during this time, we have an opportunity, all of us, to change and make everything better. Things are going to change whether you like it or not. From business, the old models aren't going to work anymore. There's new opportunities and new things that are going to develop. And you've got to be ready for change. Because if you don't, you're going to be left behind. And that's where we as a country need to spread love. Redskins win what a pie eating contest. Derek. And as Law Nation, I don't think Law has a website. He was in here. What is he? Law Nation, are you still in here? Law, I'm trying to spread some love from Derek to you, man. Derek, Marco Polo me, and I'll get you in touch with him and see on that one. Philly born and raised 4 for 4. Well, for starters, your O-line has gotten weaker or defensive line has gotten stronger. Well, I won't say it's necessarily gotten weaker because Travis Frederick was still good last year, but he wasn't Travis Frederick of old. Connor Williams coming back from knee surgery. It'll be his 3rd year. He should be able to step up, but if he doesn't, we also got Connor McGovern, who's also a beast in there as well. I will say that our offensive line would probably still be really good. Zach Martin ain't going nowhere. Zach Martin is still going to be a beast. Lyle Collins finally got his legs underneath of him, and he was a beast. So I don't know what you're talking about that our offensive line got worse. Our defensive line got tremendously better. We've got, like I said, that Canadian bulldozer, Don Terry Poe. A lot of people sleep. See, here's the thing. Y'all keep sleeping. Because, see, if you don't understand what a nose tackle is, or a defensive tackle. Because, see, here's the problem. Most people will look and say, well, T-Law, man, that guy gets, got 14 sacks one year, right? Yeah, that's true. But you have to understand the position. Defensive ends and outside linebackers, their responsibility is to get upfield and get after the quarterback. That's what they're going to do. They get the lion's share. It's just like linebackers get all the tackles. You see a linebacker with 100 tackles, 120, 130. Okay? Because that's the way the defense is designed. The defenses are designed, because I've told this story before. And I'm going to tell it again. What you have to understand is that guy in the middle, that defensive lineman, has got one job, and that is occupy space. If you get a tackle, great. You get a sack, great. But your first job is to occupy space. It is when you get double teamed, dropping the anchor and not getting pushed downfield. Your job is to keep that guard from hitting the linebacker. Your job is to make sure there's no lanes for the running back to go through. And in which case, you do not get a lot of tackles and you do not get a little sacks. But you are key, because when you do that, when you do have to take on, what kind of angle is that? When you take on that double team, that means that guard's not hitting my linebacker. And my linebackers can roam free. They make the tackles. They get the glory. When you get that push up the middle, then that means D-Law has probably got one-on-one. That means Alden Smith probably has one-on-one. And those guys get the glory. If you get that push up the middle, that means that quarterback is not sitting back there comfortable like we've seen Aaron frickin' Rodgers back there 5, 6, 7 seconds waiting to find, oh, okay, here, I'll go somebody, making a sandwich. Then that makes those cornerbacks back there that much better. It all starts in the middle of the field, and the Dallas Cowboys have never given a rat's ass since Leon frickin' Lett about the man in the middle. But finally we got that, and that's why I am excited about the defense. Because those guys, and you can look at the New York stinking Giants teams, and I challenge you to name their cornerbacks when they were winning Super Bowls other than Jason Sehorn. It wasn't about these Hall of Fame cornerbacks or anything else. It was about that defensive line. It was about that pass rush. Strahan was all those guys. It wasn't the cornerbacks, Mike. It was not the cornerbacks. And that's where you look at and say, okay. And I got to tell you, coaching makes a hell of a difference because, see, here's what I see. Danny, what's up, Danny? Here's the difference between a Doug Peterson versus a Jason Garrett. Doug Peterson loses his starting quarterback, and he brings in Nick Foles, a journeyman quarterback, and doesn't skip a beat. Dallas Cowboys lose Tony Romo, and out of 12 games, they get one freaking victory. If you're telling me that coaching doesn't matter, you don't know shit about football. You're killing me. Haskins ain't winning nothing. Jeff Hostetler was the quarterback. Exactly. It was that defense. Zeppelin didn't get a horse trailer. And so, okay. You think Matthew Stafford would have been Troy Aikman if he had Emmitt Smith and Michael Irvin? Still don't think he would have been. Sorry. Okay. He had Megatron. Okay? He had Megatron. That guy, come on. Seriously. Your Redskins wanted Coop. Oh, yeah, they wanted Coop big time. And see, Miss Jackie, I'm glad you brought that up, too. Because, see, Gerald McCoy, he wants to be here. Amari Cooper wants to be here. Amari Cooper could have got more money from the Redskins. And see, that's the thing that bothers me sometimes now about football. Is so many guys, it's not a love of the team, and it's how much money can I make? And they get that big check, and then they don't really perform. I can guarantee you that Dad Man right here, you see his shirt, it says Dad Man. He's going to be playing lights out. He's going to give everything he's got and then some because he's planning on showing up and showing off. So that's what I got for you guys tonight. I don't know about you, but I could always use a good laugh. You Eagle fans think that Carson Wentz is literally gold, but I'm still, hate to tell you, man, he's human like the rest of them. Oops. I messed that one up, didn't I? Oops, I messed that one up. I hit the click for the next one. But, what was the question? Dak worries me about his contract. They'll get it. Either way, Derek, don't worry. I wouldn't worry about it. Because either he's going to play on the franchise tag or he's going to have his deal. Either way, he's still going to play. He's still going to play one way or the other. Fact about McCarthy, he is 3-8-1 without an elite quarterback. Dak isn't elite. Well, real fan, I see real fan that you are not a real fan of Dak Prescott's. Because it's funny how we hear all of these different myths about Dak Prescott's not this, Dak Prescott's not that. It seems like there's a revelation right now where all these myths are being busted that he's not this and he's not that. Because Dak is top 10 in almost every freaking category. And I can say this, real fan, that I know that Dak Prescott going to prove you wrong. But we'll see. Mike, where you been? Mike. But you're here in time for the shots. You're here for the shots. So everybody, if you became a channel member, make sure you go ahead and email. Look on the community tab. The email address is on the or the join button, so that way you can get the email address, so that way we can get you your shot glass, all right? So grab your shot glass, and I'm gonna grab my bottle right here. You didn't send me the pictures of those, too. but the email, the computer restarted, and I don't know what the email is. Howard Floyd, thank you very much for that super chat. Man, I appreciate everybody getting in here, but listen, okay, I'm going to keep it real here for a minute before I take this shot here. Change is here. We are going through a whole lot of shit all the way around. We may have forgotten about Corona, but Corona ain't forgot about us. There's a lot of places right now, Arizona, I'm here in Texas, the numbers are growing. I've talked to my sister in Alabama and, some places. Corona is coming back with a vengeance. We can't ignore this shit. If we want to see football, we want to see sports, we want to get back to life in general, we got to take care of this stuff. We can't wait for somebody else to come save us. Can't wait for a vaccine. We need to try and still do the right thing and keep ourselves away from each other. And as Gerald McCoy says, spread love. And I'm trying to spread as much love as possible to all of y'all. I'm not over close to the camera, but hold on. Actually, let me see. Let me see if I can do this here. Brian Flowers, welcome to the Tailgate Crew. Oh, snap. Byron, make sure you email. You hit the join button and you get the email right there, or go to the community tab and you'll get the email. Or if you can't find any of those, just email me at cowboysmark94@gmail.com so that way we can get your stuff to you. Virtual hug. Come here, come here, come on, give Papa a hug. Give me a hug. I'm trying to spread some love to all of y'all, okay? Please be safe out there, and I am gonna see all of you soon. So, with that being said, it's time to turn out the lights. This party's over.
Turn out the lights. The party's over. They say that all good things must end. Call it a night. The party's over. And tomorrow and next year starts the same old thing again.